Little Geeks, Little Adventures.
I'm Brian Etheridge here at D3 Go's booth at HasCon, and we're showing off Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest. It's a match 3 RPG on iOS and Android, and it's using the Puzzle Quest sort of style of gaming, which is match 3, but it also has a layer of deep Magic the Gathering strategy. You're building up a deck of 10 cards and picking a Planeswalker, which will have different capabilities, different mana color affinities, and you're trying to build up the best strategy to stick it to the bad guys. So we're gonna check out, we'll play a little game here. We're gonna play as Kiora. We're gonna go up against the Possessed Escape. And so right now you can see everything's kind of Hour of Devastation themed, and that's because we just put out our Hour of Devastation cards. And so what we're gonna do is, looking at the board here, we've got gems that we can match. Those are basically gonna give us mana. So what we're getting mana for is our cards. So as we look through this list of spells, we're going to sort them in the order that we want them to come out. Mana is going to be gathered in from the top down. And then so for example, if I know what Mrs. Pilgrimage does, it's really going to help with my mana round. So I'm going to bring this card out first because it'll give me the ability to generate green gems, which will help me the rest of the game. Then I'm going to put out Sigarda because she's got this little symbol here, which is Vigilance. So as I go through here, I'm going to look for the best matches. In this case, I'm looking mostly for green and blues because that's what Nis is really good at. But in this case, I took a match 5 because that'll give me a free turn. Also, we have these little Planeswalker symbols. So as we look at Kiora, we can see here that she has all of these abilities. This is where part of your strategy comes in deck building. Kiora has the ability to say, fetch your next creature and give it 16 mana right off the bat, which will let her cast it really fast. So I may want to go through here and look for these Planeswalker gems. Now my opponent's going to get to take a turn. They're going to have their turn to match gems and to bring out their own cards. So I'm always looking for the best possible matches to give me the most mana. Ideally, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get creatures out onto the battlefield, which will help me get this character's life down to 0. So once I defeat the enemy character, then I've won the match. I want to make sure that they don't get my life down to 0 first. So now I've got a pretty good hand out there. They have a protective card, a card with reach, which will let them defend against my characters. This little Scrapskin Drake here, but I've got a plan to defeat that. I'm going to use Swirling Waters here. So this is going to bring out another creature, and look at that. It brought out Sigarda again, which is really good because what happens with Sigarda is if I cast another copy of her, it's going to add directly on top to this one called Reinforcing. Now what that does is it means that I don't have to worry about her having summoning sickness. So just like Magic the Gathering, once you bring a creature out, it's going to normally have a round of summoning sickness in which it can't attack. But in this case, I can bypass that by bringing out a card first and then bringing a copy of that card out later. So yeah, so really what you're doing is you're going through here, trying to figure out what your strategy is and pick the best cards to really help you get that strategy to come to life. Now, admittedly, I've got a pretty buff setup here. I'm going to give this creature flying, which is going to give it the ability to attack the other creature too. And look at that. We're pretty close. One more round and I think we'll be done here. Now, hopefully I can get this. Oh no, they took my match 5. So let's see what we can do here. No, I'm not going to bring out the soldier. There's Thing in the Ice, but what we will do, we're going to take this right here. See if we can get a cascade going. A little bit of one. Yeah. Now the reason I replaced that creature is because if you manage to bring that creature out, it's very easily stacked. So there's lots of depth and strategy. I think if for people that are familiar with Magic the Gathering, they'll kind of get some of the concepts. You know, like you're bringing out creatures. Creatures are buffed by spells. You bring out supports, which are like similar to artifacts or enchantments. So those basic concepts of Magic the Gathering come to life in this game in a slightly different way. We aren't trying to make necessarily a card game. We have spells, we have cards, but really the heart of the game is the match 3, which is where it really comes to life. So you're matching gems, which is powering up your capabilities, and then you're earning rewards. You can go in there and you can play in events, you can play in tournaments, you can have a coalition of your friends that lets you battle up against, you know, big creatures like Emrakul and other creatures from the Magic universe, and you're all teaming up to do damage against that creature. So we've got a lot of strategy, a lot of depth, and yeah, so that's Magic in a summary.
Visit us on Little Geeks for more toys and more fun. Please like our video and subscribe for our YouTube channel.